Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. Today we have a special feature. As with our recent introduction of the Schwarzetier Roma Synergy with Kari Voutilainen, this is a watch that I can get for you, though it is not currently in stock. So if you like what you see, reach out to me at Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing new for 2021, the Speake-Marin 1 and 2 open-worked Dual Time MINT. And the name really says it all. This is a watch you can taste just by looking at it. It's also extraordinarily well detailed, proportioned, and extremely rare, as the case DLC titanium, made in 38mm or 42mm, will be made in editions of 10 pieces and 18 pieces respectively. So this 38 is a 10-piece limited edition. That is real scarcity. Taking a quick look at the dimensions of the case, you can see 38mm in diameter, 12.5mm thick, from lug to lug, 46.3mm with a 20mm spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and whenever you see these strident and straight lugs, whether it's Chronoswiss, Breguet, the new Zweigesekt from Marco Lang, this type of case always wears larger. Now, they call it the Piccadilly case at Speake-Marin because they want you to remember that the new Chatel-based brand does have British roots. The Piccadilly case normally wears large, but this 38mm version is a perfect match for my wrist. Low enough to fit underneath the tight cuff. I can recommend it as a unisex option in its 38mm size. It really does feel like the perfect size and should be native to this case shape. Easy to wear, plenty of clearance on both sides. You can see it's nowhere near the edge of my wrist. The lugs don't protrude outward. The strap, we need to talk about the strap. It's a perfect match to the lacquer of the dial. It complements the mint theme, and as you can see, it's got a little bit of a thick profile, which means it should last just about forever. A vulcanized rubber strap this thick is going to be very durable. There's a little bit of a hollow on the underside to create an air pocket to allow the wrist to breathe well. You can see the logo of the company as well as the name of the founder, and it does feature a combination of screws and bars to retain the strap, so no spring bars here. It's a very durable system. A big strap, very thick cut with bars to retain it. That's going to stay put. Great security on the wrist. DLC coated, we have a pin buckle to match. Taking a quick look at the case, you can see it features a satin finished mid case with a concave and polished bezel profile, and then a polished and very narrow profile to the case back. A vintage inspired double knurled crown, you can see with the Speake-Marin logo, and then appreciate the fact that there's a little bit of a gadroon inboard of the concave profile of the bezel. It seems like a layered bezel, which gives way nicely to a box section sapphire that has a handsome plexiglass-like vaulted profile. The dial is open, multi-tonal, deep, and inspired by the black architecture movement, according to Speake-Marin. You can see a variety of textures, tones, and focal planes, and it really does reward close viewing with a loop, as there is a lot to see between the pawls and springs of the micro rotor system. You have small seconds, a retrograde date. You have a second time zone in 24-hour format. There's a small pusher adjuster on the flank to adjust the retrograde date. The dial is one and the same as the SMA02 in-house automatic calibers. You really can see everything from the dial side. The case back is handsome. We'll start there because all the action is on the dial side, and that really warrants in-depth explanation. You can see the micro rotor with the mint colored logo of the company. Speake-Marin, 36 jewels. It has a handsome multi-bridge. It's designed to read as a 3/4 bridge, as a vintage English pocket watch would, and of course it features lovely close-coupled gradient Côte de Genève. So this is not the stamped kind, this is the abrasive wheel kind. The bevels are handsome and uniform across the bridges and well done. The screw heads are black polished, and then if you look closely you can see my favorite flourish, which is a black polished bridge for the anchor underneath the balance. It actually reflects the underside of the hairspring and the roller table as well. You can also see that there is a Edicron regulation system, which means that this thing can be adjusted very precisely. I like to see that. Easily adjustable for both beat, error, and timing. 52-hour automatic winding power reserve. You can see that there are some handsome touches, such as the satin finish of the bridges underneath the primary bridges. You can see there's a satin finish on the balance cock, for example, and a lovely satin finish on the rotor itself. Flipping it all over, the watch is 30 meters water resistant. It's a sporty watch rather than a sports watch, and though at first glance it appears that it might be loomed, in fact it uses a lacquer within the hands because Luminova would not match the mint coloration of the strap and the lacquer on the dial. Lots going on here. We have the retrograde date, which is a wonderful piece of theater as it adds a dynamism to a normally static feature. We have a visible winding pawl for the micro rotor. So actually, as it winds, you do see quite a bit of action on the dial side. We also have a visible motion works that makes it easy to watch the setting. You have two different setting modes. One allows you to set both the 24-hour second time zone and the local time zone in sync. And then the other setting mode, you'll note, by the way, it has hacking seconds when you're setting everything in sync. The other setting mode gives you the ability to set the local hour hand. And if you note, I can cycle it as many times as I want. I'm not going to drive the date. You can cycle that hand forward or backwards without actually driving the date. That only happens when you put it in universal setting mode and hacked second, or you use the pusher adjuster. 24-hour second time zone, you can see it features both night and day distinction. It's in a 24-hour format, so it's intuitive and easy to read. You know whether you're looking at day or night in your reference time zone. The bridges feature a handsome array of beveling and then satination on their top, and we have a combination of gray, white, mint, black, silver, and the violet of the pivot jewels. So it's a lovely dial. I recommend if you do own this watch, you inspect it closely with a loupe. It's finished and detailed to such a degree that I recommend close examination. It will be rewarding. It's a rather open and airy dial, and the fun here is that you get all of the drama of a display case back on the dial side of the watch. The back of the watch is attractive, but all the action is on the dial side. A handsome and versatile watch suitable for unisex applications and quite discreet by Speake-Marin standards. This is one of their most wearable and desirable watch series. Reach out to me, Team Mosso, at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.